Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. For our visitors who are here, you may not be aware of this, but we have a very active town government, centralized sort of out of Town Hall here on Broad Street, and we have some other offices around town and out of town. And for our year-round and seasonal residents, I try to let you know what's going on. And you can also subscribe to my e-newsletter and check out the town website.
And what else?
And watch my show
there you go.
on gnotv.com.
Absolutely.
24/7.
You got it.
If you wish.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a board meeting last night. We had actually had Board of Selectmen and County Commissioners. Board of Selectmen had quite a lot on the agenda. Some quick announcements for people. The Memorial Day Parade is this Sunday at 1 o'clock, starting from the Legion Hall. There's a sewer increase, I'm afraid, to report that will be effective on your June bill, your want-to-comment bill. We heard a report from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. They're doing a, what's it called, a remedial investigation and feasibility study at a formerly used defense site. FUDS is the acronym for that, F-U-D-S, formerly used defense site, out in Tom Nevers. And if you recall, in the spring they did a low, very, very, very low flying helicopter using technology to ground penetrating stuff to see if there are unexploded munitions and maybe other things in the ground. So they came and reported on that. Don't even ask me to tell you what they said. They found some stuff. They found other things. They used this term cultural cultural items or something like that. And I asked Bobby what that meant, and he said it means trash.
Oh.
It was an interesting term.
Lots of metal.
Metal, lots of metal. Anyway, they are in the midst of this review and study, and at a later time they'll be determining how to remove, how or if, I guess, or when to remove the items. And some need more
but no
investigation.
Bombs. No.
Well, there may be some unexploded bombs out there. Yes, that's the whole thing.
Oh, I see. So they have to go in by hand now.
Yes, I think that might be the next step. I don't know what the next step is.
Right.
That might have been it. The Citizen Police Academy, we have I think our second class, we've been trying to offer this Citizen Police Academy, is graduating tonight at 6 o'clock at the community room at the Public Safety Facility. We released a bunch of executive session minutes from prior years. We had a telephone petition, a common victualler license application that was continued. The board had its first public hearing on about half of the committee applications that have come in, and the other half will be done on June 6th. And then appointments will be made on June 27th. So if you have applied for something, it's not too late if you're still interested to apply for some of the one or more of the committees. It's all on the town website. Please check it out if you're interested. They approved an entertainment license for Arno's Breakfast and Seafood Restaurant at 41 Main Street. Oh, we made Cherry Street one way, eastbound from Pleasant to Orange. One way.
When does that start?
Well, that's a good question. We need to figure out with the DPW when it'll start. Soon, though. Probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks it will start. We'll get markings out there and signage. And somebody made a good point, Terry from Fast Forward. When you're coming out of the Fast Forward area on the Cumberland Farms side, there's no sign, evidently, that says don't take a right, no right turn.
That's right.
And apparently people do that. It seems to me that the way the cars are parked, you would see that you can't take a right, but I guess a lot of people do.
Well, why doesn't Cumberland Farms put a one-way sign on that?
I don't know. They should do that, but probably will have to do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's that. We had a lot. We had a couple public hearings for real estate purposes, some financial disclosure issues, easement for the Dreamland, and a whole bunch of other real estate matters.
Long meeting.
It was a long meeting.
Yeah.
The board at 2012 annual town meeting, we approved we accepted a Mass General law that allows for what's called the senior work-off program, and that allows the board to establish rules that govern the program. Basically, if you're a certain senior age, you can do some work for the town and get a credit on your tax bill of up to $750 per year. So the board I had a little work group that worked on that. They presented a policy and a program, and the board adopted it. So that's in effect now, and you can check out the town website for more information on that. So my tree friends. Okay, now I gave the board an update on the code enforcement consolidation and a recommendation and really a request for endorsement of an office move. And the idea is to move the offices that are at 37 Washington Street currently out to 2 Fairgrounds Road. There was a number of reasons for that. The main one being that the space out at 2 Fairgrounds is more conducive to an integrated consolidation also with planning and zoning. That's going to happen. We do not have a date by which that is going to happen yet. We're in the process of doing the preliminary work to move sometime over the summer, probably after July 4th. And as that develops, I will keep you posted on that. We talked about airport capital projects, really one project, the General Administration Building project, and the board, to make a long story short, agreed to proceed with that project. They talked about reformulating the Energy Study Committee. That was a pretty lengthy discussion, and I think they're going to take that up again over the next couple of meetings. And the point being to try to determine what should the Energy Study Committee's mission be, what is their charge, what should they be focusing on. We also discussed the possibility of parking at the National Grid lot on Candle Street, and some people have been investigating whether or not that's feasible with National Grid, and there was an update on that. The board is sending a follow-up letter answering some questions that National Grid had of the town about that parking situation. County had a lot, at our county meeting, we had a lot of real estate issues, and we accepted a transfer from the town, which we did at our meeting just before that, of $150,000 through planning board special permit fees that will go to the Hummock Pond Road bike path.
Wow, the beginning of that.
The beginning of that. Next week, May 30th, is the 5th Wednesday of the month. We don't usually meet on the 5th Wednesday of the month, but we do have 2 things that need to get done. One of them is the report from our financial consultant about the airport. This is a report that has been, how can I describe this? We asked our consultant to prepare a report on how these airport problems occurred. He has done that. I noticed a very unfavorable editorial in the paper today about it, so I suggest you read the report, which will be posted online, and see for yourself what you think. I've heard mixed feedback about the report. So the consultant will be presenting it to the board next Wednesday. The other item that we're doing on Wednesday is the board is approving a bond sale for a number of capital projects that were approved at this past town meeting. And that's got to get done so we can get the borrowing in place and the projects can start. That's next week, the 30th. Those are the only things that are on the agenda.
So it is good. You are having a meeting.
We are.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't be too long, but we are meeting. Yeah. Well, hopefully not even that long. But
okay.
You never know.
You got it.
Never know. Gino, I think that's about it. It's a big weekend, kickoff of summer weekend.
You got it.
Yay! And I think things are looking up around here. They seem to be pretty busy. There's lots of activity around town. The weather hopefully will be great. And
that's it.
Yeah, what do you, I'm going to drive a car, hopefully, at Don Allen on Saturday.
Good, yes, drive one for your school. Good.
Yes.
That's a good thing. Everybody needs to do that.
Yeah, and I do want to try out
a
new car, maybe.
I know it. Well, we'll get your opinion. I'll be there shooting a new commercial.
I'll give you my opinion on it. Okay. Gino, what else? Are you hearing anything else that I should answer?
No.
I'm going to answer one thing.
Okay.
I've heard some people, there's this sort of buzz around town perhaps about let's replace all the trash cans with something different.
Oh, yeah.
And things like that. So there's some talk about that. But also I've heard people say, why don't we have fewer trash cans and why don't we have more trash cans? Obviously there are pros and cons to each approach. One of the
you would know. You're a big proponent of keeping things clean.
I do. I am. That's right. I have a real pet peeve about that. One reason why not to have more trash cans, we find that it tends to encourage people, residents, to bring their own personal trash to a trash can downtown and put it in there instead of going to the landfill. And I've viewed this with my own eyes. I have seen residents that I know who have used this trash can right here on the corner for their own personal trash, their household trash. Area businesses do that as well to avoid paying somebody to come get it, I guess. So that's a problem. And we don't want to contribute to that problem. So that's a reason not to have more. And fewer, no. Downtown, people tend to throw things, believe it or not, on the ground.
Maybe we can get an anonymous donor that if they don't like the way they look, they could
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be
nice?
nice?
Yes, because you know, on one hand, the town has some bigger things to spend their money on than replacement of trash cans. On the other hand, there may be smaller things we can do to make them look a little better. They're definitely, the tops are kind of gross, and maybe we need new ones. Maybe they need to be repainted, whatever.
Yeah, paint them.
So there's a big effort going on in this area. Right. So I think that might be about it for now. Oh, look, there's the sheriff.
In his new car?
Yeah, that's his new car.
Ooh.
It's fancy.
That is fancy.
Well, actually, it's not that. I don't think it's that fancy.
No, it's not.
It's just your standard law enforcement vehicle.
Okay.
So I guess that's it. So thanks for tuning in. See you next time.